It's Mr. Pringles the Barber, aka Always Cutting Head Honcho. I am him, not them. I am him, not them. So I got my co-host here, Case Cuts. Go ahead, Case. You gonna go ahead and do your thing.
Case Cuts. It's just different. Y'all know what it is.
Okay, before we get started, I want to give a well overdue acknowledgement to all the women around the world that have dedicated not just their time, but their livelihood into perfecting their craft in the hair and beauty industry. With the beauty industry producing a net worth of $511 billion and still rapidly cashing in, it's only necessary that we take the time out to show nothing but gratitude here at Alwayzkuttn Barbertalk. I am him, not them.
I'm seeing numbers, I must be the one. Rain Man, yeah, they think that I'm dumb. I don't care. Let them think what they want. I don't do it for them. I do it for fun. To buy your way in cause I'm in the leg. So I run it up like the money upstairs. I'm just getting started. I hope they prepared. They counted me out, so they counted me in.
I am him, not them. So I want to go ahead and let my guests introduce themselves. First, we want to start with Carlisha, also known as what? Go ahead.
I'm Carlisha, also known as the dopest dreader. Yeah.
Still.
Go ahead, Kim Yada. Kim Yada, you ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Kim Yada, known as Hair by Yada on Instagram and Facebook.
Look, ain't y'all having fun already?
A blast.
Yeah, this shit about to be lit. All right, so first question up. Any one of y'all can jump in. How long have you been in the industry and what motivated you to pursue your career in the hair industry? Boom.
You can go.
I've been in the industry for 16 years. My grandmother, I've always watched her do hair in the kitchen. So it was like instilled in me from a young age. It's all I seen.
How old were you when you started?
22.
22?
22 years old. Well, when I was licensed.
Okay. So your grandmother motivated you basically overall?
Yes. Getting the hair done in the kitchen by her from a kid, Easter Sunday, every weekend.
So how long have you actually been doing?
Oh gosh, probably like junior high.
Junior high?
Yeah, probably like 14, 15 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta put all them, you gotta count all them neck burn days and everything. Them all got throw all them up in there. Don't try to skip over that. That's part of the journey.
That's
How about you, Carly?
I started off as a braider, honestly. I got 3 brothers. They all had hair. So my brother used to like draw on a piece of paper, like the design that he wanted type stuff. So I started off as a braider though. And then when I got to school, like when I was in school, I became like the known braider, quick for braiding as well. And then my hands used to start hurting from braiding so much. Yeah. So a lot of the people that was braiding, they start getting locks. So I started doing locks. When I was at home, I was jacking people up. So I'm not even gonna lie. Like I didn't take it serious. It was just like a little side hustle. I was charging like $25 a head.
So
for
this
some
is
locks.
braiding. You talking about braiding, you was jacking people up.
No, braiding, I was not jacking people up. When I first started doing locks.
Oh, locks, okay.
Is when I was like at home, yeah, I was jacking people up, but I was charging like $25 a head at the time. But I didn't like do research for real on it or whatnot. And then I had my son, so in 2015. So it was like Easter Sunday or whatever. And my house was like booming. So I'm like, oh yeah, I might as well take this serious and go to school. So then I went to school
Easter
or whatever.
Money day.
What Easter doing? Like
Easter next week. Let me hold something. Easter next week.
Oh yeah, it is Easter. Yeah, this was perfect timing.
It was.
It's like an anniversary.
Yeah. That made me realize like I need to start taking it serious or whatnot. So That's what I did.
You find a passion. You're more passionate about doing dreads than braids.
Yeah. So I the only reason why I stopped really doing braids though is because it used to hurt my hands.
Okay.
Like my hands would like crimp up real bad. And then a lot of the people that I would braid, they ended up getting locks. So I just started doing locks for real. Dumb low prices at the time, but it all worked out how it was supposed to. I was working in the MRDD field too. So I was tired of like wiping butts too. So something had to shake.
Had to shake ASAP.
Yeah. I was tired.
Well, that's a segue on to the next question. How do y'all deal with like pricing? Like when it comes to raising prices and things of that nature. I know that's like a headache.
No, not no more. I think in the beginning it was like kind of iffy, like as I was building myself. But now I feel like I'm at a point like it is what it is. Like I done built my clientele to a point where my clients be telling me I should raise my price. So at this point, I just feel like I'm cool now. Like if I was to go up, I feel like they gonna go. Right. Like I ain't gonna have no issues. But then again, that still knocks out the people that ain't supposed to grow on your journey with you. I feel like you get rid of the ones that ain't supposed to be there anyway.
It's a way to weed them out. And the more the demand grows, that's when the price go up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you weed, you know what I mean? You weed those other people out. But let Kenyatta answer that question too. Is it pretty much the same? I mean,
it's pretty much the same. I mean, I try to go a little bit around my environment and neighborhood, my area, but I'm along with her. You just raise your prices and you weed out the ones who didn't really want to pay anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did it? Did the pandemic affect any of y'all?
It got rid of the ones I didn't want anymore anyway.
I
went back to work. I was able to like tell them like, "No, I ain't back yet," or "I'm booked already." So then they just got out the way for the ones that I really
allow
wanted.
you to raise your prices. So you got to see. Did you raise your prices during the pandemic?
No, not immediately. No,
I did.
Yeah, I didn't either. I ain't raised my prices.
I waited a little while.
I didn't. I understood. You know, I like my money, but at the same time, I didn't want to take advantage of the situation at hand or make it seem like I was taking advantage of it anyway. So, nah.
The reason why I raised mine is because the shop was closed though. So I had to bring people to my actual house.
Right.
So that's different. Like now it goes back to again as a filter and weeding out people. You don't want everybody coming to your crib. So if you raise your prices, you're gonna filter out all the riffraff, and only those that value the service completely gonna come. So
right.
And once I seen that they was paying, I never really went back after that. Once you figure out
right,
they'll show you your value.
Facts.
Right. They definitely created. I mean, you can only charge what somebody willing to pay, right?
Exactly.
Right.
So I mean,
and once you created a demand, like
right,
what is it, 37,000, 40,000 followers and things of that nature, like Carlicia over here with the 100,000. You know, once you done created something like that, you ain't really got nothing to worry about when it comes to pricing. Once you step all the way into the boss category, like I think it's a transition from the hustler to the boss.
I'm still a hustler.
All right. Okay, we're gonna see. What's the difference between a hustler and a boss?
I don't know. You just made it seem like I had to pick one. It was one. Like I'm still going. I don't know. I'm still gonna put in the footwork. Like I don't feel like I'm a boss yet until everybody in my shop is where they want to be. Then I'm like I'm a
great
boss.
Great answer. That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Good answer. Because everybody, it's about uplifting other people and putting other people in positions also. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what's crazy about that? That's what a boss does, though.
Oh, most definitely.
So at the end of the day,
I don't know. I just feel like everybody gotta.
When you walk into the shop and you have a customer, they like, I need to speak with the boss. Who are they going to?
I'll point to other people in the shop, though. I feel like that's so
Oh, I do
irrelevant. I
too.
hate that question.
But yeah,
Yeah.
bro, you know, everybody don't take that. No, everybody don't take that acknowledgement like that. Like some people don't even want to feel like that way. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to be regular.
It's one of
Like,
the things that's just your aura, I think. Your aura might say that, but a lot of people don't walk around with it on their chest.
Hold up, though. So we looking at, I think we're looking at the way of a boss the wrong way then, because at the end of the day, a boss is somebody that has employees. A hustler is somebody that's hustling to become a boss, to have employees.
how are they my employee? I don't sign their check though. I think it's different though. Like I worked in a salon where they made me feel like I was their employee. Like you don't sign my check, you don't control what I do. I'm still me. I'm still the dopest driller. I'm still my own brand.
That's what I keep telling these barber shop owners too. Don't make the people you work with. Y'all are co-workers. You know what I mean? Y'all are a team. Y'all are co-workers. Ain't nobody, you know, I'm just renting this space from you. You're not my boss. You know, whatever happens in this 4x4, whatever space it is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just renting a space, but it's a lot of shops, and I know barbershop owners who get caught up in, well, you gotta do this for the shop, or you got the shop is your brand, and you know what I'm saying? No, people have their own individual brands and everything.
Exactly.
So, you know, it's not nothing against the shop. I mean, I'm here, so I'm bringing people here, which in turn puts money in my pocket for me to be able to pay you. But as far as building my brand, it's just some owners who don't want you to build your own individual brand in their shop. And me personally, that's what happened to me, my first experience. And I couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? I was focused on building my own. So, you know, it rubbed on the wrong way.
I guess it's a difference, like as far as like a boss, cause you ain't, in my eyes, you ain't my boss.
Right.
Like I rent your space, I pay my bread, and I go on about my business. But you're not gonna make it seem like, and you know, I feel like a lot of places be pocket watching. So okay, I see you eating this much, so now your booth rent going up. I went through that, so I didn't want them to go through that in my shop. So my shop is my brand. But in the same sense, I want everybody to build their own brand. Like be you, be your person. So we all can eat. While you build your brand, I'm gonna build my brand, and we're gonna help each other. So
I encourage the girls to have their own brand. Don't just be under Hair Love Beauty and assume that take assumption over my brand. Like you just, like you said, Case, just renting a space. Like who are you outside of coming into the salon? Because when you're not here, you're not, for me, Hair Love Beauty, you're whoever you are. You have to sell yourself and brand yourself.
Okay. I ain't gonna let up. So I want to know, I just want to know, when do you look at it as you elevate and graduate to a boss? So do you have a shop full of bosses, or do you have a shop full of hustlers? Like what differentiates the hustler and the boss? That got quiet. That's some love.
That's a good question, though.
That is.
Yeah, what separates? Because you can be a boss. It doesn't mean that you're actually like. It sounds like we speaking on like we working at Walmart, like that type of boss. Like I'm talking about like as a boss, like what separates you as a hustler than to a boss? Like what's the difference?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I would say, bro, like I know they gotta answer the question, but
you gotta answer the question too, because you had the input back in it. Go on ahead, Chase.
Nah, like I think that boss title can lead you to a point of contention. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, it's like I'm a boss, and in their mind, they ain't gotta go no further. You know what I'm saying? Like it like stop right there. Like they feel like I graduated and I done all that.
Already made it.
So yeah, I don't really like to sit on stuff like that, me personally, because I like to keep creating more and more goals for myself. And you know what I'm saying? And for me, it kind of make myself feel like content. And I don't never want to be content. and
But
yourself, boy.
you know what though? A boss creates though. So what you just said was,
He always got to come back.
yeah. It ain't gonna stop. Look,
That's what it is.
yeah,
That's what
a boss creates. So as your own entity, you still would be a boss because you creating something for yourself. You still climbing. You can't. That's basically saying that you would never be a boss. You have in your head you never want to reach.
That's cool, but what I'm saying is I'm not gonna ponder on that too much. You know what I mean? I don't really. People say that to me, like you your own boss, and it's like yeah, but I don't really stay there that long. You know what I'm saying?
I guess it's more we humble.
Yeah.
Like we know we a boss, but we humble.
Say that again. You know what?
We know we a boss, but we're humble.
That's it.
We hustlers too, though.
Yeah, we hustlers too. I feel like what we just talked about before we even got into the room, as far as us buying our own time and controlling our time, we had to hustle to get there. So once you get to the point to where you can dictate your time and you could take those days off, you can come in and charge extra. Those are boss tendencies. A hustler can't do that. A hustler is pretty much still working to get there. It's like
that makes sense.
Yeah, you still running. You ain't running now. What's your hours again?
I'm still running. Marathon continues.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I look at all of us are bosses, and we still got a hustle mentality. That's how I would look at it.
How do you guys deal with juggling, motherhood, and being the boss, and amongst other things? You know what I mean? I don't know if it's different. You know, I mean, personally, I don't have any children, but I got responsibility. But like he has children. I don't know if it's different from a barber aspect. With an active mother, but I know, sometimes it's the single mother thing, and y'all have to deal with that. So
probably more difficult as a mother.
How do y'all do it?
It's definitely more difficult. I am a single mother of 2. My son is 6, my daughter is 12. So finding balance, I feel like, first of all, life is all about balance as well. But I feel like I went through my stages, like I said in the beginning of my career, where I didn't have no balance, where I was still trying to like build my way into my career, where I still been my mother, I've still been a mother. But I remember like every Saturday going into the shop with my kids, like I would cry, like just because it would be so much. Like it would be overwhelming, playpen in the shop with my son. Like it would just be overwhelming. And he's such a mama's boy that it was so draining. Now I feel like I have more balance. I have more control, especially now that I'm month to month. I have control over my life. I would say like the last 2 weeks I've been overwhelmed just with him running for 2 track teams. So we got practice every day. Like I don't have time for nothing else for real. So it's really just that balance, like balancing out your life. But it is hard. It's one of the hardest things ever. Like I joke, like, I don't know who the hell told me to have these damn kids, but I wouldn't trade them for nothing. But like it has to be that balance. But it's really overwhelming. Like we got the 24-hour event coming up on Saturday, but my son also has a track meet. So I'm going into the shop, then I'm going to the track meet, then I'm going back to the shop. So it's just balance. And I think it's harder for moms because we have our kids majority of the time from with the dads.
It's like that with my son. He's at the shop with his mom. However, he comes with me on Saturdays. I think it might be a little bit more difficult when they're younger too. Like you might have a 2-year-old running around like that don't want to go down. That can be real difficult. So while you're trying
that's my son. Yeah. My son is all boy, full energy, no chill whatsoever, just on the go, nonstop. Like, so I get it.
Okay, Kimyada.
I'm thankful, I guess, because I co-parent very well. So I don't really have the issue. When dad couldn't get him, my dad did. So I didn't never have to worry about that. I always took off for games, regardless. At the beginning of my career, I have an 18-year-old and a 11-year-old. So at the beginning of my career, I just always took off for their games, period. Nothing just ever came before them, but I just was blessed to have my dad and to co-parent very well with their dad. So I didn't really have those issues.
That's what's
All right.